The strategic benefits of organizing all national and state communities along the model of 12 basic superstates. This gets into the spiritual foundation for the common law process that we're trying to invoke. There's been lots that has been lost because of the forces of evil. After the Jewish Revolution in AD 66, the Roman Empire burnt millions of books and texts. And similarly, after the Norman conquest of England by the Roman model of government, Roman Empire slave traders, they similarly burnt text and obliterated the history. And so, and the history is, we do have the legend of King Arthur, which in his round table, there was, if you study it, that according to the legend, there were 12 seats at that round table of King Arthur. And that's the legend of how common law tradition works. That's all we've got is a legend. But similarly, Jesus had 12 apostles, and there were 12 tribes of Israel in ancient Israel, and there were 12 princes of Israel that were the leaders of those 12 tribes. And based thereon through logical deduction is what I've come to, is that the divinely inspired model of government requires a governing body of 12. This facilitates organic accountability to the smaller communities. It facilitates, before even the organic accountability, is the consensus building process, so that with smaller governing bodies of 12s or 10s, you can realistically hope to build consensus. If you've got 435 people in your governing body, your lawmaking body, you can't build consensus. It's a humongous workload to do it amongst all of those people. But if you arrange all the people in hierarchies where only the people that are elected to the higher levels are the ones with voting capabilities, then those people that have percolated up because of their skills in being responsibly self-governing people, they become the elite, the nobility, by election, by organic accountability. And from those, when you build consensus, then it's reasonably presumable that everybody underneath them that has elected them to their positions will consent to whatever policies are unanimously adopted from the inner circle of 12. And this plugs into the 7th Amendment, U.S. Constitution, priority, level of higher law, that jury trial verdicts are a system of higher law. Jury trials only happen under the tradition and rules of the common law as articulated in that 7th Amendment. And so through this multiple factors overlaying, here under it's promoting efficiency. We're promoting efficiency in our model of government. Once we get enough people that are in the 12 positions of leadership for our nation, and I suggest our Canadian friends try to follow the same model. Once we get people in positions of leadership, we get enough people involved in our process from the grassroots bottom up, then we will be in an unadulterated and unhindered mode of procedure where we can confront the de factos, the corrupted form of Roman Empire model of government that is presently oppressing us all. We will be in a position of power under the authority of the higher law referenced in the 7th Amendment, The Seventh Amendment doesn't clearly declare itself higher law, but by implication, there are multiple levels of lower level law, and the wording of the Seventh Amendment clearly implies that because no fact tried by a jury shall be reexamined other than according to the rules of the common law, once we produce our jury verdict, then nobody else can challenge our jury verdict unless they produce a similar jury verdict and they also follow the rules of the common law better than us, which they will probably never do. So this is the logic and reasoning behind the importance of the organizing under the 12 superstates model. And again, we're attempting to set the example of how to run jury trials according to due process of law, because a judicial decision is higher than a legislative decision. Anyway, I should probably put a wrap on that. Is there questions or comments? I'm thinking of going on to the next item. Unless there's questions or comments about how this general organizing process works and why we're so firmly embracing it as an alternative to everything else on the table. Any comments or questions on that before we move on to another agenda item? I yield.
Charles, anybody? I do have one quick question, Charles, and forgive me because this has probably been something that I've missed in the last couple of meetings. You said something about 12 superstates.
Yes.
Is your intention to have 12? I'm just trying to see it on the screen as I'm talking. To have 12 new republics form a union? I wouldn't word it precisely that way, but that's pretty close. Can you see the map that Lewis has brought up on the screen there? Yeah, I'm on my cell phone, so it's a little hard, but I can see it. I can get the general consensus of what's going on here.
Okay, each of these geographical areas, in how I'm visualizing this, there will be one delegate, at least temporarily, filling the vacant office for each of these jurisdictions. And three of the superstates here are just single states, New York, Texas, and California, because they've got real big populations. But all of the others, the other 9 superstates, are communities of states merged together so that the population counts are approximately equal. We're concerned with what's called proportional representation here.
Absolutely.
So that each of the communities gets one vote and is carrying approximately equal of the burdens for the whole country. Mm-hmm. And it's designed to promote what really should be thought of as organic government. There's different definitions of the words organic law and stuff. They call the Constitution documents organic law frequently, and municipal charters for local cities and counties and stuff. They call that organic law, but it's statutory licensed franchise. It's not really organic, you know. But yeah, that's the brief explanation. Shane, did I explain adequately there?
Absolutely. I was wondering exactly the direction, because I was trying to envision, would you be keeping the same 50 states as is and going forward that way? And I didn't see that as too feasible. I've always thought of some way to break down the United States into larger regions that were more similar and could work together in this communal way. So I was very interested to see that map.
All right. Thank you. I'm glad you can see some merit in what we're trying to promote here.
Absolutely.
All right.